Good afternoon, classmate Elena. I am very happy to be here. Let me the opportunity to share my presentation with you. It's about a current controversy. It's about teaching our kids to code. I'm not sure if you know what is the meaning of code. It's very similar to program. When you program a computer or a cell phone or maybe a tablet, whatever, it's the same. I chose this topic because I have a master's degree in innovation, so I love to discover new ways to teach and learn, of course. And sometimes I use my own family to make a few experiments. For example, here's Eduardo. He is my son. At the age of 1 year old, I taught him to use the cell phone, to use the iPhone. He learned to use it very quick and very easily. So he also understands what is the main objective of the device to call his Spanish. Now, after 3 years, I'm now trying to teach him how to understand the very complex concept of the augmented reality. Using an iPad, I try to explain how to interact with a little robot. This is the Curiosity. At the beginning it was very hard because he only can see the robot in the screen. But it's not happening in the real life. He can control a team, move the robot, but it's nothing there. So it's very difficult to understand at the beginning. So there are 3 steps to understand the process of learning. The first one is the kid recognize the device. After that, he uses the device. Usually, the process stops in this step, only the use. But you can go for another step, the step 3, where you can teach the kids to control the device. In other words, to control the computer, the cell phone, or the tablets. Here the question is very important. Should we teach our kid to code? Because it could be a very powerful tool. Some people say no, not at all. Absolutely not. Why? Because the first reason is prolonged exposure to the TV or the screen could affect negatively the children's brain's development. She is Linda Pegani. She's a psychosocial professor of the University of Montreal. And she said many hours of exposure in front of the screen could affect negatively the performance of the kids in the classroom, and also could have problems on math. Other reason is the kids could feel unhappy. He is Green Packard. He is an education expert, and he works in the Telegraph. It's a newspaper in England. And he states, quote, "Young people exposed to modern technology for more than 4 hours a day are less likely to display high levels of well-being." In other words, the kids could feel happy or miserable. The third reason is because when the kids are coding or programming, they are avoiding other kind of activity like play with other kids. She is Mrs. Subramanian. She's a PhD of the University of Los Angeles, and she states, quote, "When children use computer instead of participating in sport and social activities, it raises concern about the possible effects on their physical and psychological well-being." So, yeah, it's a very big issue. The final reason is probably the most important. When the kids are using the computer, could contribute to unhealthy behavior. James Hill, who is a professor of the University of Colorado, he said, when the kids are programming, you could contribute to increase the 75% of the overweight or obesity on kids. On the other hand, some people say, okay, no, it's good to teach the kids to code. The first reason is because the new technology could increase the rate of creativity of the kids. And also encourage the teamwork, because when they are learning, they are playing games with other kids, and we share time with others. Also, he can help them to think and solve complex problems. You know this guy? He's a Steve Jobs, founder of Apple, and he said, quote, "I think everybody in this country should learn how to program a computer because it teaches you how to think." This is very important. Additionally, Nicolas Negroponte, who is the founder of a project called One Laptop Per Child, in order to give a laptop to every kid in the world for it costs less than $100. He said, "Programming allows you to think about thinking, and while debugging, you learn learning." Could be sounds weird, but it's very important, it's very deep, because you learn to think and learn to learning. My personal opinion, in my personal opinion, I prefer to teach my kid to code, because it stimulates the creativity, he learns to share with other kids, and prepare him to face complex problems in the future. Now, there are some alternatives or initiatives that could help you as parents to teach to code to your kids. For example, PlayEye is a company. They develop two little robots. The first one is called Boo, from robot. The other one, Jana. It means you are not alone. These two little robots can help to the kids to program. As you can see, you can use an iPad and you move the buttons and you can make the robot move. This is the front end of the program in the iPad. So as you can see, it's very simple. Every kid can learn on it. This is an example where a kid of 9 years old code a little program to produce music with the robot. If a 9 years old kid can do it, okay, everybody can do it. Finally, not now, in maybe a month, in September, England is going to be the very first country in the world to teach programming classes to the kids. England take the challenge to do it. And every kid in England is going to learn to program or to code, because they think it's very important for their own kids. So, it's happening. So, my recommendation to you when you have your own kids, there's only one option: to be prepared. Thank you very much.